In this video, we're going to look at the multiplication of larger numbers. We're going to use 154 times 36 as our example. The first step is to make sure that you line everything up neatly. So the ones are aligned with the ones, the tens are aligned with the tens, and the hundreds are over there. The reason for this is not that we really need to go up and down at this point, but the neater we are, the easier it is to make sure that we don't make any mistakes and we don't get lost and we don't get confused. Now, to do the multiplication, we're going to start on the right hand side. We're going to start with the ones. So in this case, our first step is going to be to multiply the ones place in the top number with the ones place in the bottom number. So now when we do the 6 times 4, we get 24. If you notice, there's a bit of a problem here because now we've got a 2 and a 4 squashed together in the 1 spot. We can't have that. So what we do is we leave the ones in the ones spot, that's the 4, and we take the 20 part of the answer and we move it up and we put it above the next number over, which means that we're going to put it here. We're going to put the 2 over top of the 5 because it really is 20, so it is a tens number. We want to keep it there because we're going to use it with the 5 as we keep going. So now we're at the point where the 4 at the end of 154, we're done with that for now. Now we're going to be working with the 6 times 5 to get our next number. We also have to remember that we've got that little 2. So now we're going to do 6 times 5 is 30, plus the 2 that we have left over gives us 32. Now again, we have the same problem because we've got 32 squashed into a little tiny spot that's only good for one digit. And we're going to do the same thing as we did before. We'll leave the 2 from the 32 where it belongs, and we're going to take the 3 and move it up above the next number over. So if you see where the 3 is there, it's in the 100 spot and it's sitting up top. We're also going to make sure that that old 2 that we carried earlier is crossed out or scribbled out so that we don't get confused by having that extra number there. If you look at the example on your screen, I've taken that old 2, we're done with it now, so I made it into a lighter gray color. Now we're ready to deal with 6 times 1, which is 6, and we've also got that little 3 that we have to add on. So we've got 6 times 1 plus 3, which gives us 9. Let me write that down. There's no extra numbers. The 9 is fitting beautifully in that spot that's just there for one digit. And that means we're all done with multiplying numbers by the 6 out of 36. But we're not done yet. We still have to multiply the top number by the 30 part, which is the 3 that's marked in red here. And this is the spot where people make a mistake. Now we're dealing with the 30 from the bottom times the top number, which means that we're done with the 6 on the end of 36. So we've moved over to the left to get to the 3, and in our answer we also have to move over to the left. So on your screen you've got a little 0 with a line drawn through it. That's because that's just to make sure we don't mess up and we don't put numbers in the wrong place. So we've moved over 1 to the right in the question with the 36. We're going to move over 1 to the right down in our solution part as we start multiplying 3 times 154. So we're going to start at the end of the 154. 3 times 4 is 12. Now 12 is too big to fit in that one little spot there, so we're going to leave the 2 down there, and we're going to take the 1 and we're going to move it up to the top, out of the way, and we're going to put it over top of the 5. That means when we get to the 3 times 5 is 15, plus that little one at the top gives us 16. Again, if we go to write 16 in the spot next to that 2, we're going to run out of room. So we'll leave the 6 where it is and we'll move the 1 up to the top again. That means we're now ready to do 3 times 1 plus 1, and 3 times 1 plus 1 gives us 4, and we'll write that down. Again, we have no problem because 4 is a nice small number, and we're done with the multiplying now. We're still not quite done because we did 6 times 154, and that gave us 924, and we did 30 times 154, and that gave us 4,620, but now we have to put them both together. To combine the 6 times 154 with the 30 times 154, we just add the two numbers together. And we add them together, we get 5,544, and that's our answer. So 154 times 36 is equal to 5,544. And now we're all done.